Rusty, you're driving me nuts right now, buddy. Get out of here. Hey everyone, welcome back to Nortonman Reviews. And what we have here is some stuff by Frank Cho. If you've been following me, you might know that I am a big Frank Cho fan. He's probably in my top 5 artists of all time. There's a lot about his stuff that I really like. Sometimes it can seem kind of basic on a certain level, but the way he draws women is incredibly good. The way his storytelling is really good. Oh, Rusty's here. There's his tail. He's great at just like doing like kind of classical art. Hey, you little shit, quit pushing stuff over. He can draw folds like nobody's business. He does ballpoint pen drawings that are amazing. I have a lot of his like art books. There's the Apes and Babes. I got Frank Cho Women. I've got The Art of Frank Cho. I've got a Skyborn book. I've got this huge Drawing Beautiful Women. It's like a humongous thing. Oh God, Rusty, just get in there. And plus, like, I reviewed his Savage Wolverine. He's done some stuff for New Avengers. He's just been all around, right? He's done a lot of stuff. And how he started, to my knowledge, okay, Rusty. While I'm talking, people have something interesting to look at besides the comic, I guess. He started out doing a comic strip at the college he went to. I can't remember where he went to. I don't know if he went to that college, but he was doing it for a college, just like a local newspaper for the college, and he was doing this news strip called Liberty Meadows. He did that starting in 1997 and did it until about 2001. And from there, I'm not exactly sure the trajectory of his career, but eventually, he was discovered and he started doing more and more comic books and gaining fame. And now he's like this guy who can basically, I don't know if he can draw just whatever he wants, but he's making enough money doing convention sketches. His outrage sketches are phenomenal. And he'll do his like creator-owned books when he wants to. I'm sure if he called up Marvel or DC or whoever and said like, hey, put me in something, I want to draw something, they'd find a way to make it done, get it done. So, great artist, seems like a really nice guy, good sense of humor. But I wanted to look at his Liberty Meadows stuff. Now, I've got several books of his. I got volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are kind of oversized comics or reprints of his Liberty Meadows stuff. This is a standard comic. Rusty, you're ruining everything here. This is a standard size comic right here, so you can see how much bigger this thing is. This is just volume 4, obviously. And then I got some, and they're all black and white, too, like most comic strips are. I do have a collection of his Sunday strips where he would actually put them in color, as you can see. We'll look at some of these other stuff. Some of this other stuff later. I've been wanting to showcase him in Liberty Meadows because I think they're brilliant. I think they're really funny in the story, while, again, not life-changing, earth-altering events. It's not superhero stuff. It's very basic. Okay, I need to quit saying basic because he's anything but. But it's just kind of standard stories about love and loss and typical human drama. But it's hard to do comic strips because there's so much. And what do you highlight? You can't look through every single comic strip that there is. That's just I think it would get boring and monotonous for a viewer. But he also Image started printing these books, so he might have gotten discovered from here somehow. I don't know. So he did these till 2001, and then he started printing these in comic-sized books. In 2003. And I don't know how many issues he went. I never bought these issues. I started them with the collected books. But Rusty, you're driving me nuts right now, buddy. Get out of here. But I somehow randomly came across these issues 35 and 36 years ago, and it was just nice to have. So we're going to look at these really quick. Oh my God, Rusty, quit. Oh, you're knocking over stuff. Get out of here. Say goodbye, everyone. Love you. Jesus Christ, cat. So, issue 35 and 36, we're just going to kind of look at these. They're not too terribly long, and it's in the middle of a storyline. But, you know, you don't really need to know everything. I'll kind of give you the backstory of it. These are this is the main character, one of the main characters. Her name is Brandy, and this is her friend Jen. Brandy is kind of like the down-to-earth girl next door, hot as fuck girl that everyone is in love with. Well, it's Brandy and Jen, right? And Jen is just like that super hot, knows she's hot kind of girl that everyone is also in love with, right? And they're like best friends. So we'll start with this one. And kind of the basic plot is Brandy and the guy Frank. We'll look at Frank. I'm pretty sure his name is Frank. Frank is kind of like the nerdy dude who works with Brandy at, God, how do you explain it? So there's these characters in here that are more, oh, hold on, I'm going to adjust my camera a bit. There we go. The comic, you know, you have to read it sideways, which is whatever. So there's these animals. There's a pig. There's a fucking bear, I think, a little bear and a toad. And they all have some kind of like, I don't know, psychological issue, I guess, where like the pig is like this woman crazy, like stereotypical, like testosterone man guy who's just like addicted to, I don't know, hitting on girls. Each one has some kind of psychological issue. I don't remember. It's been a while since I looked at these, so I don't remember what each of them were. But Brandy and Frank work at this place to help recuperate them, or, you know, work on their issues or something like that. It's fucking weird and silly, but that doesn't matter. A lot of the jokes come from these guys. And here's Monkey Boy Frank here. Whenever like Frank Cho is talking to the reader, he draws himself as this monkey, which I find amusing. I'm just going to read this one here. I don't God, fucking, I forget all these guys' names. This guy is Dean, and Dean is looking at these guys dressed up as like Captain America and Superman and asking like, why are you dressed up like that? And they're explaining that it's a Comic-Con, and it's kind of like the typical thing where someone who reads comics and is excited about them is explaining to some asshole who doesn't read them and kind of judging them why comics are good. He's like, aren't comics for geek weirdos and Nancy boys? That's where you're wrong, fat boy. Comics are for everyone today. Today's comics are some of the best entertainment in the business. They are a fine marriage of prose and pictures. You know, that's what any of us who read comics would probably tell somebody. And then he busts out this comic, and he's like, here, you'll like this one. See how the words and images are composed to tell a story? You can see how each page comes alive with imagination. Look closer. So he gets really close. This guy, whap, just pows, socks him right in the face. He's like, you want to see the next issue? And then this guy actually has Lone Wolf and Cub. He's going to show him. So that's just kind of funny shit like that, right? Not all of the jokes land, but I think when you're reading them, like any comic strip, if you're reading them in a newspaper on just a weekly or daily basis, they're short, they have to get to the point really quick, and I bet it's hard for any comic strip illustrator, cartoonist, to have to come up with a joke or something each week. That could be hard if you're not a fucking genius like the Calvin and Hobbes guy. Watterson? Why can't I think of his name? I have it right here. Yeah, Bill Watterson. Jesus. or Jim Davis, or, you know, Charles Schultz or something like that. So these comic strips, these stories aren't just a one and done comic strip. There's a long story that he's trying to get across. Like one time there was like this drama of them trying to like fight a fire that was going to come and burn down the forest and like the hospital that they worked at. So that was the drama there. The drama currently is, okay, so here's this guy, Frank. And I guess somehow he was, again, we're in the middle. We're in issue 35, so we're in the middle of a storyline. He was going out with this girl, Jen. But he is in love with this girl, Brandy, right? Because they work so close together. But Frank dumped this girl. And she doesn't like that. You know, she's a girl who doesn't ever get dumped. She's the one who does the dumping. So here we are. She's knocking on the door. She's showing up. So that's just a comic strip right there. That's the end, to be continued. So, but it's better when you can read these things in a long format. So in a comic book like this or in a collected edition is really great for this. But she's looking all sexy in this robe. And she brings him in and looks like I don't know if she was going to kiss him. Anyways, couldn't get his mind off of him. He's like, gulp, you know. So she is just all in. She's like, can't stand the fact that he rejected her. So she is all over him. And his art style hasn't really changed too much from then till now. You can see the basics of how he does stuff. And it's kind of cool that he, you know, he doesn't have to draw a lot of detail, non-complicated shit, doesn't have to worry about backgrounds. He can just bust this shit out pretty fast. But he keeps his artistic talents in there for sure, like all cartoonists can do, with like the shading in here. This angle of the kissing is really, really good. But so she's making out with him. He's still trying to reject her, but she is just fucking all over this dude, ripping his shirt off. He's like, I expected something like this might happen, but I came prepared. She rips off his fucking clothes. He's like, okay, that one I didn't expect. Right, Rusty? So he's still trying to resist her charms. He somehow bends over. Oh, she throws his clothes. He bends over. And she rips off his pants. He's like, someone decided to go commando today. I didn't have time to do the laundry. God, Rusty. So he's looking at her off, or she's off panel. He's like, we broke up. Nothing will change that. But she just has her bra that she apparently took off. Okay, except maybe that. Okay, Rusty, come on, dude. Rusty, you... I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna give you so much love, you're gonna hate it. Say, hi, everyone. I'm an annoying cat. All right. Okay. We made another appearance. Time to go. So again, he's resisting her. She's doing everything. She starts licking his nipples. You can try all you want to seduce me. Ah, sweet Jesus. She should have just fucking went down on him, right? Just had that same expression, but like she's not there, maybe just at the top of her head. Yes, folks, Jen's trying to seduce Frank. Great googly moogly. She's like, did you like that? Nope. And they both look down. I beg to differ. Okay, just a little. My damn sensitive nipples. So then he's got the little devil and angel. And he's like, what are you waiting for? She wants to jump your bones. Like, you can, let's see. Cheap, tawdry sex with someone you don't love is wrong. Resist. Okay. Oops, my robe fell off. So again, he's going to find the opportunity to draw some sexy women in these books. I like this. Both the angel and the devil looking at binoculars. Whoa, dude, jump her bones, the angel says. So she's like, do you want me? He says, yes. I want you bad. Well, I don't want you. She shoves him out the door, slams it, locks it. Now he's fucked and naked. So he's banging on the door. Give me my clothes back. This isn't funny. And Dean, the pig, the womanizer, he comes walking by. Been there, done that. So then we go to Jen, and she's like, there's been this, like, will they, won't they thing between Frank and Jen here. But there's other handsome dude named Roger poor bastard, is also wooing Brandy here. So they're on a date. She asks him in for coffee. That's the end of that strip. Frank's trying to bust in, hurts himself. He crawls through the doggy door. She's like, look who's back, crawling on his hand and knees. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. She, for some reason, brings him hot water, puts his hand in so he doesn't stay cold. Is he going to piss himself now? Hope he didn't have too much to drink tonight. Yeah, so she's just fucking with him. She doesn't even care about wanting him back. She just wants to teach him a lesson. So, God, I forget this frog's name. He comes by. He's walking the dog Oscar, and they come across him. Oscar sniffing his butt. That's fucking funny. I think his name is Leslie, this frog. So we're going to go with that. Leslie is like pulling her. And the bear, whose name I fucking forget, comes across and, this position they're in. That's I'm going to say that's fucking funny a lot. So just get used to it. They're pulling him out, they pop him out, and then here comes Dean, and he sees they were using Vaseline. Compromising situations. Then we go to Brandy, and again, Frank Cho is taking the opportunity to draw these incredible folds, using some nice shadows, just showing the sexiness of her. She wakes up, there's a note from the guy, and I guess those two had sex, her and this guy Roger. And he's like, you were so beautiful sleeping. I didn't want to ruin it. I'll call you later. Love, Roger. So a romance is blossoming. Brandy and Jen meet up the next morning. They're like, what did you do last night? Nothing. And you? Nothing. But they both were up to some shenanigans. Yeah, Leslie. That's Leslie. And then there's this fucking raccoon, Mike the raccoon. Mike's a germaphobe, so that's his deal coming to the hospital or clinic or whatever. And he has OCD. So it's another new character who doesn't do much in these issues. He's doing the lights off, lights on, lights off thing because he's OCD. He's scrubbing his hands while... What's his face here? I gotta find out his name. It's in the bathtub. Jen and Frank having more interactions. And then a moment between Brandy and Frank, and he's still in fucking love with her. And again, this would just be one comic strip for the week. So they're like, we had the same idea, let's get to work. So they work well together, they enjoy each other's time, as is showcased here. There's some song playing, I don't know what it is. Just good times they're having, but their attraction is blossoming, and they're going in for a kiss, some enchanted evening. And then we have an intermission here. I think just satiate Frank Cho's appetite for drawing busty babes and monsters or monkeys. So there's the bride of Pong, and the joke is, what's wrong with you? I always cry at a wedding. You got the typical woman being sacrificed to the great ape thing. But again, great art going on here with the jungle and everything. So as they are back to the romance, they're about to kiss. Her phone comes on, goes off. It's the dude Roger, that poor bastard. And that interrupts it, and she's leaving. She's like, Frank, why didn't you ever ask me out? And he's silent, and she's silent, doesn't look back. She says, I would have said yes. And he has this look in shock. I love the shading, especially for this moment, and just her walking off in this silhouette here. Very well done, Frank Cho. And then he can't get that, that memory out of his head. So he goes storming off. Jen comes up, and she's been still fucking with him. And he's like, "Where's Brandy?" He's like, "Why should I tell you? Don't play games with me, wench." And so she's like, "She and Roger went to the restaurant." And now she's like, kind of like gushy for him again, because he, was all manly to her. Uh-oh. So Brandy and this Roger, poor bastard. I say poor bastard because my wife used to go out with a guy named Roger. That was her ex, and every time she brings him up, I always say, "Oh, that poor bastard." I just think it's funny. So she's kind of like not happy, but he has something to cheer her up, and he asks her to marry him. Holy matrimony! Will she or won't she? To be continued. That's funny, holy matrimony. So he asks, she's thinking, Frank is running to find her elsewhere in a galaxy far, far away. All this shit is like really well done. I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if a million of voices cried out as one. I feel something terrible has happened. And meanwhile, in Liberty Meadows, she says yes. So that's just a fun thing. He probably was like, "I want to draw some Star Wars things. How do I do this?" And as they're leaving the restaurant, here comes Frank. He shows up. But is it too late? "What are you doing here? I'm glad I found you." And then he sees the ring. To be continued. That's just the one strip. And then here's Roger. And Frank wusses out. He says, I came to ask Brandy about a medical file that I need tomorrow. And he's like, "Oh, since you're here, I wanted you to be the first. No, we're getting married." He's like, "Say something, anything." And he says, "Congratulations." And then Brandy is just, Roger's like, "Oh, you're awfully quiet. Are you, what's wrong? Are you worried about the wedding?" And he says, "Of course not. I'm not worried. I'm happy." But the look on her face, right? And then we go to Frank. He's running. He's crying. Again, great silhouettes. Just yelling, "Brandy!" So the drama is unfolding. And then it ends with a little joke. "Hey, Dean, how are the Washington Redskins doing?" "Yes, this rope. Oh, fine." He throws it up, making a noose. "Just fine. Methinks he's lying. I got dibs on his room." Just a funny joke. Then he shows some other artist doing a pinup. I don't know who this is. Tomb? Hardcover collected series. More image shit. Mail. We don't need to see this. And then a quick little gag here in color. Pig, pow, punches him and just... Ow! I felt that. 42 seconds. And who said alcohol kills brain cells? So that's funny. Oh, and there's another one on the back. Based on a true story, it says. So I think this dog, Oscar, is based off of Frank Cho's actual dog. At the time, at least. Looks around, sniff, puts on not an apron, fuck, what do you call it? Why can't I think? What are you eating? Come on, open your mouth. Ugh, it's poop. That's disgusting. And then a little disclaimer here, public service announcement. Please clean up after your dog, because one dog's poop is another dog's snack. Ain't that the truth? By Monkey Boy Cho. All right. So, I'll stop it here because it's 24 minutes already going on. And then we'll look at issue number 36 in just the next video. So, thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, do all that shit. And, I'll see you in the next video.